result of a merger between Corinthians FC and Casuals FC. Now, Corinthians FC were founded in the late 1800s when the FA's top brass were sick of getting pumped by Scotland every time they played them. As a result, a man called Nicholas Lane Jackson set up an amateur side which would bring in the best players who could all play for the national side. And it worked. It wasn't long before England were dominating the international fixtures they played, and it was largely down to Corinthians. In fact, in 1894 and 1895, they played consecutive games where Corinthians provided the entire England 11. But the thing is, the players refused to play professional football. They didn't believe in it. They wanted to spread the values of sportsmanship, competition, and played for the love of the game. It also helped that most of the players were Oxbridge graduates who didn't need the money. But instead of entering the league and cup competitions, they played exhibition football and toured the world, bringing the beautiful game with them. And it was this which spread the game throughout the world and made it so popular. Most famously, in 1910, they travelled to Brazil. And the locals in Sao Paulo were so impressed, they started their own team under the same name. Yes, the same Corinthians who won the FIFA Club World Cup in 2021, one of the biggest football teams in Brazil. Now, they were global superstars, and despite not being professional, Corinthians drew in the crowds. Everybody wanted to play them, everybody wanted to watch them. So much so, they regularly played the winners of the FA Cup in what eventually became the Community Shield, winning most of the time. They actually inflicted Manchester United's worst defeat, 11-3, a record which still stands to this day. Now, fast forward to today, Corinthian Casuals still don't pay their staff or players. The ethos of sportsmanship is still at the heart of everything that they do. And even though they're a side in the lower leagues, if you make the trip to King George's Field in Tolworth just off the A3, you'll most likely bump into Brazilian Corinthians fans who often make the pilgrimage across the globe just to watch their founding team play.
Good morning, everybody. It's the world's biggest sports radio station, and this is the warm-up with me, Charlie Baker, and Barry Glendenning. Good morning, Barry.
Hello, Charlie. You're not Max. Why are you
I'm not Max. Why am I even here? What am I even doing on talkSPORT?
Exactly.
He wasn't here last week either. Where on earth is Max?
Max is, I think he's on a lads' weekend with his childhood friends.
Oh, how sad.
I think they went for a march in London somewhere yesterday.
Oh, did they? That's nice.
They want the country back, Charlie. And then I'd imagine a Max lads' weekend is quite dull. I'm getting a curry, Connect 4.
A mild curry.
Yeah, a mild curry.
Not that I'm saying you have to be really hot. I can't eat a hot curry.
Yeah, my spice threshold is disappointingly low.
Spice Threshold is your new album, am I right? Is that,
I've collaborated with Mel B, Emma Bunt and Jerry Halliwell.
It's covers of Spice Girl songs done in an Irish folk style.
Yeah. I've got
If you want to be my lover, you want to get with my friends. Making loves forever and friendship never ends. It's good.
Right, well, it didn't take you long, did it?
Got you singing early, Barry. People like it when I'm on with you because you sing.
Yep.
We all love to hear those beautiful, beautiful vocal stylings. And what else do you think he's doing? Playing his clarinet? Do you think he takes his clarinet?
Jazz clarinet, yeah.
Do you think he takes the clarinet or not?
No, I don't think he probably hopes someone will, have one. Oh, actually, look what's in the boot of my car.
I've been practicing, actually. Oh, I've just got it in from. I've just got it in the boot from the shows I did this week.
I'm saying he probably had 4 pints.
Oh, you reckon?
And was in bed by 10:30, and was probably really looking forward.
That's a nice weekend, Barry.
To a good night's sleep with no children to wake.
Just because he's not like you, having 10 pints of Stella and a knife fight on a Saturday night.
You really don't know me at all.
Yeah, I saw those shocking scenes last night on the television of thousands of white people dressed in flags, waving flags, jingoistic statements. I'm never watching Last Night at the Proms ever again, Barry. That was the joke I prepared.
That's a good one.
That's prepared material. That's all I've got.
Right.
I've been asked to ask you something. We are going to do a full preview of the Premier League.
Yeah, I'm slightly worried about this. You've told me twice.
Yes, well, 2 people have got in touch.
You've been asked to ask me something by 2 different people, but you won't tell me what it is you've been asked to ask me.
As is
I suspect you're about to tell me now.
Yeah.
Catch me on the hop, throw me a curveball.
No. You're a very yes-and person, Baz, I know, so you can just run with anything.
That's comedy improv, isn't it?
It is comedy improv.
I hate comedy improv.
Oh, it's not a lot worse.
No.
I mean, unless you've seen my act.
I have seen your picture. And I hate comedy improv more.
Wow.
Yeah.
God. You really do hate comedy improv. Okay, Eric Blair's been in touch.
Blair.
He's a regular listener to the show. He's been in touch. And
Is that not George Orwell's name?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if that's his real
Lionel Blair?
That's his online name.
Right.
And also Barca Jim.
Oh, okay.
Friend of the show.
I know Barca Jim.
Both have said the same thing, Baz.
Okay.
And if 2 people independently say the same thing to me on this show, I have to ask you it.
Right.
I'm looking forward to some texts now.
I'm genuinely concerned.
Okay, today is the 2nd Sunday in September, which means you have to ask Barry if he knows who the Southampton manager is and who the permanent manager was before him.
Oh.
This is obviously something some hijinks you and Max set up at some point. And also, Barca Jim says, I have this in my diary. Message Max. It says more about Jim than anything else, if I'm honest. Message Max and remind him to ask Baz, who was Southampton manager after Russell Martin, as suggested on the show on the 13th of April. So the end of last season. This is obviously some big old chat you had. People have put it in their diaries.
Right.
So here we are, Barry. Who is the Southampton? I need to look it up, if I'm honest. What am I even doing on this?
You don't need to look it up, Charlie, because I'm about to tell you who the Southampton manager is.
I'm going to check if you're right or not.
The Southampton manager is Will Still.
Will Still. It is Will Still. And he's the guy who didn't have like a proper licence. Isn't he?
Well, he managed in France.
Yeah, France. And they'd get fined.
One of the Lyon, one of the L teams in France.
One of the L teams.
Lorient, someone.
That's one of the women's teams in France, all the L teams, of course. L. See, there we are. Right. Clever as well, Barry. It's not just
smart,
rubbish.
Smart.
It's not just
you can do prepared material. You can do it off the cuff. Notice how I've got furiously padding here while I desperately try to remember who Will Still's predecessor was.
Will Still.
And the manager who was really terrible, who replaced Russell Martin, was Ivan Juric.
Ivan Juric. There we are.
Am I correct?
I need to Google that. Lens is where Will Still. Oh my God, Barry!
Nearly knocked something over. Lens. I was right. One of the L's.
Very good, Barry. And will you say Ivan?
Ivan Juric. He looked like he smoked about 120 fags a day.
Yeah. Oh, I remember him. Yes, very grey man.
Yeah.
And he wore like a grey tracksuit.
Yes. Yeah.
He was like, remember when they did John Major on Spitting Image?
Yes.
And he'd go, more peace, whatever she was called, that he cheated on. And then he was just a very grey man, wasn't he? Painted grey.
Yes. Well, Ivan Juric was Will Still's predecessor.
Do you mean Ivan Juric? If so, here's a summary of his time managing Southampton. What went wrong, what he tried, and what the situation looks like now. Who is Ivan Juric? Croatian coach.
Does it give Ivan Juric his net worth?
He was.
I remember it. Someone looked up. You know, if you key someone and it comes up, are they married?
Oh yeah.
What's their net worth?
Yeah.
And my net worth was about £3.5 million.
Wow. And you're also married to Scarlett Johansson.
I wish either of those things was true.
One of these things is true. Let's play that game.
Yeah, which would I take?
Oh yeah, wow.
Net worth of £3.5 million,
or married
being
to
married
Scarlett
to Scarlett Johansson. Do you know, I think I'd go for the money.
I'd take the money.
Yeah.
I'd take the money.
Take the
I was
money.
going to say take the money or open the box, but that sounds rude.
Yeah.
Now I've said it. I was referencing a 70s game show. Appointed in December 24 to replace Russell Martin, his deal was for 18 months with a break clause. I think they took the clause.
Do you think when
he won
Russell Martin...
one game in 14 Premier League games?
Right. Yeah, he was...
Defensive frailties and was let go. The interim manager was Simon Rusk.
Yeah. I think you're glossing over the fact that I knew the answer to both questions when
Barca Jim,
Mr. Blair and Barca Jim both expected me to fail.
Barca Jim and Eric Blair, you have been shown, served. You have been served the correct answer by Barry Glendenning, which is good. Barry, we're going to do some team news now from the WSL.
Great.
I'm assuming they're there. Is Angelina Kelly there? Hello, Angelina.
Hello.
Hello, you are at London City Lionesses, which is, they play at Bromley's ground, don't they, versus Man United.
Yes, it's a sold-out Copper Jacks Community Stadium ahead of the London City Lionesses' first ever Barclays Women's Super League match at home as they welcome Manchester United, who will be looking to bounce back after losing 1-0 in the first leg of their Champions League qualifier against Brann on Thursday night. The home side make 2 changes from their 4-1 loss to Arsenal at the Emirates last weekend as the Lionesses hand a first start in the WSL to former Barcelona winger Lucia Corrales, who joined this summer, and there will be some familiar faces in the lineup today for Manchester United fans as their former captain Katie Zellum and forward Nikita Paris make their home debuts for the Lionesses. Their world record signing Grace Gayoro, who joined from Paris Saint-Germain for £1.43 million in September, is on the bench. For Manchester United, the club make 3 changes from the side that lost in Europe as new signings former Manchester City midfielder Jess Park and Julia Zigiotti-Olme, who joined from Bayern Munich in July, make their first WSL starts for the club. Their other new signing, former Barcelona player Fridolina Rolfo, is on the bench after coming back from injury. One of the stars of England Euros 2025 victory, Ella Toon, she does start, but despite scoring 5 goals already this season, Norwegian forward Elizabeth Turland, she's on the bench, but with Man United's next European fixture next week, we do expect that that's in order to manage her minutes. Kick-off is at 12 noon. It's London City Lionesses versus Manchester United.
Thanks, Angelina. talkSPORT Cup forever.
Of course,
there
always.
We are. Very nice. And Jeff Peters is at Villa Park for Aston Villa v Chelsea. Jeff?
Yes, good morning to you. Chelsea
Jeff.
did the domestic treble last season and doing it unbeaten as well. They kicked off this campaign with a 2-1 victory over Manchester City. Only 10 league defeats in their last 8 seasons. Tells you just how dominant they are. Club record signing Licia Thompson has been cleared to play and is on the bench. Naomi Girma and England legend Lucy Bronze both still missing. Macario, Wrighton and Carnrid come into the starting 11. Villa began their campaign with a goalless draw at Brighton after ending last season with a real flourish, winning the final 5. Ellie Roebuck makes her first start in goal after coming on as sub for the injured Sabrina D'Angelo last weekend. Staniforth, Hijikata and Nunes still sidelined. Summer signings Vilms and Daylon make their home debuts. It's Villa-Chelsea in the WSL from noon.
Go get it. Go get it. There we
Can't
are.
stop it.
Can't stop it. It's good fun, isn't it? Baz, have you got a catchphrase, Baz?
No, I don't. No.
Should we get you one?
I don't want one.
Anonymous has been in.
You're coming out with little in-jokes that I don't understand.
Well, it's not my show, so I'm allowed to use. If my friends come on, I'm allowed my in-jokes with them from other stuff we do.
Okay.
So if you
You're
want
doing 2
catchphrases-
shows today,
I'm doing 2 shows today.
Charlie, 2 shows.
That's my name. Thomas 2 shows. The England manager. You lose. Your loss, Anonymous says. Scarlett is the highest earning actor ever. Is that true? I don't know if that's true. Is it?
I'd say.
She's in all the Avengers stuff,
Yeah,
isn't
she
she?
probably is then.
There we are. We are.
But if I was married to Scarlett Johansson, I wouldn't expect her to support me.
Okay. Well, no, exactly. You've got your own job, Barry. You don't need. You're an independent woman who don't need no man.
Yeah, no, I'm an independent man that don't need no woman.
Exactly. Ange Wagoner. So Daniel Noyes called Max an Ange Wagoner, which I quite like.
Yeah.
As a thing. And he's the lower. He said,
Well, when Ange was really doing really badly at Spurs there before he'd won the Europa League, Max was like that Japanese soldier who kept fighting for like 40 years after the war had ended in his support for Ange.
Right.
And he was proved right.
We've got
ultimately.
a break,
Well,
Barry.
righty.
We've got to do a top-level Premier League review next. This is the warm-up with Charlie Baker and Barry Glendenning. Following us is Game Day Live with Natalie Sawyer, Perry Groves and Mickey Gray. Then it's The Final Word with Sam Ellard and Alan Pardew. Then Trans-Europe Express, brilliant show, with Danny Kelly and Andy Brassell. Ruben Selles has been sacked by Sheffield United this morning, maybe last night, Baz. Maybe we're just hearing about it this morning.
Yeah.
How does it work?
Not a huge surprise, really, is it?
Not really. Let's speak to Scott. Let's bring Scott Minto in as well. Scott, hello, Scott.
Morning, chaps. How are we?
Yeah, very, very good. What do you think? I mean, this was coming, wasn't it? They've hardly scored a goal and they've lost 5 in a row.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they're bottom of the table, rock bottom. Played 5, lost 5. They got knocked out of the Carabao Cup as well. I mean, it just couldn't have been a worse start, could it? So, look, as a part of me that actually feels sorry for Ruben Selles, that he's actually done a decent job with where he's been in the past. But I just think to take over someone where Chrissy Wilder should never have been sacked in the first place. And you know, you're hearing the rumours. I was listening on as I was driving in to Alex Crook pulling over on the lay-by and talking about it and saying that maybe Chrissy, you know, might go back as well. I think that would be the best thing ever for Sheffield United, for that to happen. And hopefully it would mean that perhaps Chris would have a little bit more power in the sort of what goes on behind the scenes as well. Look, everyone can have an idea, and if you want to go with it, that's one thing. But I'm sorry, all this kind of, I'm into data, but not into AI data, and maybe even picking the team through the back of it. I'm sorry. Sometimes you've got to go a little bit more old school, and I think Chris is just perfect with that club.
Scott, how much damage do you think this will do to Selles' career, if any?
Well, it's a good question, Barry, because, you know, I look at the sort of career he's had so far. When he took over at Southampton, it was very difficult. They were always going to go down, really. I mean, you know, so he wasn't really going to save them there. I think he did a really good job at Reading. He did a decent job at Hull. But he seems to be picking jobs that just almost... I mean, this was the one, wasn't it? This is the one to say, OK, well, the fans aren't happy and no one really understands it. But you've still got good players. And I say I feel sorry for him. There's no way they should have lost every single game since the start of the season. So I do think it will do his reputation a bit of damage, but, you know, maybe after a couple of months out and other managers, other clubs doing something, whether it be, you know, he might have to go back to League One, I don't know. But I don't think it's the end of his career, but yeah, it certainly won't do any help at all for his reputation.
Sounds like you're at a rocking St Mary's. Scott,
Yes.
it's a midday kick-off, Southampton v Portsmouth. It's live on talkSPORT 2.
Absolutely, mate. I mean, for anybody who doesn't know about this fixture, you know, obviously not two of the biggest clubs in the country, let alone Europe, but I'd say in terms of pure rivalry and almost hatred, this is right up there. It really is. You know, the last time they met was 6 years ago in the Cup. Southampton won 4-0, but that was Premier League versus League One. The time before that was in the 2011-12 season. And, you know, both teams, well, it was a 2-2 draw and a 1-1 draw. Some fantastic goals in that one, but, you know, I've actually just seen a video, a friend of a friend has sent me it, of the Pompey fans coming in. You know, you're not allowed, if you're a Pompey fan, just to turn up at the stadium.
Right.
You have to be picked up in a bus.
Well, I think they've just turned up by the sounds of things.
Exactly. You can hear them now.
Unless they're all watching my ITV comedy special. Scott, I'm going to let you go. We've got to do a Premier League preview. We haven't even spoken about the Premier League yet. But thanks, Scott.
Have a good one, chaps.
Scott Minto there. He's at St Mary's, Southampton v Portsmouth, live on talkSPORT 2 from midday. Should you wish to listen to that, it's time for a Premier League review, Barry.
Max and Barry's Premier League review on talkSPORT.
And that's all we've got time for. Quite long, isn't it? The intro music, isn't it? Yeah. There we are. Let's do it. Where do you want to start, Barry?
Well, last on Match of the Day.
Oh, yes. The 0-0.
But first in the Premier League review, let's start at Selhurst
Yeah,
Park.
come on, let's do the 0-0
The mighty
first.
Sunderland held Palace to a scoreless draw.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching Match of the Day last night.
Yeah.
And Mark Scott was doing the commentary of Fulham Leeds. And he kept talking about how terrible the game he was commentating on
Oh, really? He was really having a terrible time.
Yeah, he wasn't enjoying it. And then I think it started to pour torrential rain, which I suspect Mark Scott was getting wet up in his gantry. And he just sounded like he was not enjoying the game at all. And I was thinking, this is the third last game on Match of the Day.
Oh, yeah. And what
How bad must the next two be? Who was it? Everton against Villa.
Yeah.
And Palace Sunderland. But to be fair, the Fulham Leeds did pick up when Kevin, the new Fulham acquisition from Shakhtar Donetsk came on. He was quite a revelation. So that game picked up a bit. So that sort of explained why that was third last.
Yeah,
but
this is a great result for Fulham because they've had nothing of a summer. They've had nothing of a transfer window. They've sort of started like have they started yet or not? I don't know.
But isn't that
they're sort
Fulham's
of? I know, but sometimes they have a good go at it. And Silva's such a good manager that it feels like they're overly reliant on him on getting a tune out of whatever players he's got, which he can do. And equally a terrible result for Leeds because these are the games they need. They're going to stay up, and I hope Leeds stay up because I think Premier League's better for having Leeds in it. They need to be getting something out of these games. You know, Leeds and Fulham are in the same division within a division.
I don't think so. I think Fulham are nailed on to finish 11th or 12th.
Okay,
whatever happens.
Yeah,
they could spend £500 million on players during the summer. They would still finish 11th or 12th. And there's something nice about that.
Yeah.
Heartwarming. I mean, did you see the goal that they conceded? I mean, it was a quite baffling own goal.
An
Gabriel
own goal.
Goodmanson.
Yeah, terrible. Nightmare.
I'm still not sure what... The ball just hit him on the head and went in. He didn't sort of move. He didn't jump. He didn't do it. The ball just literally hit his head and went.
When it's one of those and you're not trying to defend or like stick your leg out and it must be so gutting. All the hard work in the bin.
Right back at the end of the game. Just a real sickness. There's nothing you can do to try and redeem yourself. But, these things happen.
Move on. Go Palace Sunderland. Go on, Baz.
Well, it's a good result for Sunderland. The last time these teams met was in 2017. Can you tell me who the Crystal Palace manager was the last time these
2017?
Sides
Roy?
met? No, it was Sam Allardyce, and David Moyes was the Sunderland manager. Sunderland won 4-0 that day. 0-0 yesterday. It didn't... I only saw the highlights of Match of the Day. It didn't... I was rather hoping to go to this game, but my ticket fell through, and looks like I dodged a bullet.
Yeah.
But a good point for Sunderland. Any point's a good point for a promoted side, but their goalkeeper was man of the match. Robin Roos, he made some brilliant saves, and I think they were a little bit lucky not to give away a penalty late doors.
Yeah. And well on Gay for not just moping about, looking a bit sad.
He's a pro.
He's a pro, and he's got on with it. No, let's move on. Arsenal 3. We've got a break. We can't. That music took too long.
It's our anti-Arsenal agenda.
It is. I'm about to talk to Arsenal, and we obviously hate Arsenal. We will speak about Arsenal after this. This is Charlie Baker and Barry Glendenning on the warm-up on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins, doing what matters for the trade. Find out more at travisperkins.co.uk or download the app.
we've had a look. Forget a cold, wet Tuesday night in Stoke. Try a blizzard 220 miles inside the Arctic Circle. When Chelsea lost at Tromsø in Norway in the Cup Winners' Cup, a massive snowstorm hit at half-time. These two boys and their brooms were absolutely no match for it. We're staying in Scandinavia for Scotland's toughest away day on the side of a cliff in the Faroe Islands in Euro 2000 qualifying. The pitch at Toftir was like a cowfield, never mind those gale force winds. The Faroe Islands part-timers equalised in stoppage time. Cue Scandi scenes. But away trips don't come tougher than playing Bolivia at altitude in La Paz. Or so we thought. The Bolivians have now taken home advantage to another level, literally 500 metres further up the Andes to the country's highest city, El Alto, 4,100 metres above sea level. Meanwhile, the loudest stadium in world football officially is the Ali Sami Yen, where Galatasaray fans set a world record of 131 decibels. That's louder than Motorhead. But our most intimidating away day is in Wales. Prison team HMP Prescoed was briefly kicked out the Gwent League over concerns about young opposition having to go in there. Now that's a tough place to go.
This is the warm-up with me, Charlie Baker, and Barry Glendenning this morning with you through till 1:30, Barry. The extra half hour, of course. I forget about that.
The bonus half hour.
The bonus half hour. We're doing a Premier League review. Charlie, you said get the nil-nils out the way. Everton v Villa. That's Giles, the Villa fan.
Okay.
I thought Martinez kept the minute.
He did. Worrying times for Villa. They have not scored a goal in 4 games. And I can't see where a goal is coming from.
Well, and what's happened?
It's not like they're missing loads of chances or anything. Or Ollie Watkins is just lost his. Well, He might have lost his mode, but they're not even getting in position to miss goals. If you know what I mean, they're not creating chances, so that's a worry.
A David Moyes side is difficult to break down, as well. So away from home, a point isn't too bad for Villa, but they've got to score. I mean, I saw an interview yesterday with Emery, and they sort of went, "Oh, you haven't scored a goal yet," and he sort of gave him that sort of Dracula look that turned you to stone and went, "It's not funny." And I was thinking that makes it a bit funnier.
It does.
In many ways.
Another good performance from Jack Grealish.
Yeah.
I mean, Beto missed several great chances. And if he'd had his mojo and remembered to bring it to the new stadium, what is it, Hill Dickinson Stadium, Everton probably would have won that game quite easily. So I would say points dropped by Everton rather than 1-1 by them.
Agreed. There we are, Giles, the Villa fan. Let's talk about Arsenal. I thought they looked serious. I thought they had good squad depth, which they're going to need if Ødegaard's going to keep getting injured. Gyökeres looks good. What's he got, 3 and 4, Baz? Are you a stats guy?
I think it is 3
and 4. And he's enormous, isn't he? He's like a giant. He's like a Hulk. He just looks solid as a rock, I think. I think he's a very good signing for Arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, that win for Arsenal was pretty much as straightforward as you're going to get. They played well. They left several key players on the bench to give them a rest. They had some out with injuries. They weren't missed, which was obviously a big problem for them last season. The only thing that spoiled yesterday for them was the injury to Ødegaard. And that is a worrying one because shoulder injuries are very hard to fix.
Have I had one, Baz?
I haven't had a bad one. I had a friend who dislocated his shoulder playing rugby and it just kept popping out.
Yeah, for the rest of his life.
Not for the rest. He eventually had surgery to fix it. But a back injury or shoulder injury, they are hard to get right.
Madueke looks very happy, like he's found his feet at Arsenal, loving it. I thought he was like a one-note player, but he seems he's either going to cut in, or he's going to go out, or he's going to get to the line. He's going to do one of those three things.
Sounds like John Burns.
I know. You've got to be slow or fast, or you can get to the line.
I think he is one note, but his one note is very good.
It's a good note, yeah.
The one thing I would say yesterday, he was up against Murillo, who is a centre-back, and he was forced to play because Ola Aina has pulled a hamstring on international duty. When I heard Ola Aina had pulled a hamstring, it was going to be, I thought, God, one training session with Ange, and it's already gone. But apparently he did that damage to himself on international duty, so it's not Ange's fault.
But the injuries have started early.
Zinchenko's at Forest now. He couldn't play, obviously, because he's on loan from Arsenal. Stupid rule, by the way.
Rule.
It is a stupid rule. On loan players should be allowed to play against their parent clubs.
If you were Ange yesterday, wouldn't you have gone, I'm going to sit in the stands for this one? Because I think it was very unlikely they were going to win yesterday. It was very likely. Arsenal haven't lost back-to-back games in the Premier League for, I think it's something like 10 to 12 years, right? So they weren't going to lose yesterday. And if I'm Ange and I'm just joining in the, sort of got to get what I'm trying to say across the players quickly, I'm taking a rain check and going, it's not my team yet. It's not my team.
It's not my team, mate.
Not my team, mate. No.
I don't think it matters, really.
No.
I just think Forest were probably always going to lose that one. But imagine if he sat in the stand and they won. He'd still take the credit.
Well, he'd come down at the end of half-time. That's what you do there. Where do you want to go to next? I enjoyed Spurs. I know they were against 10 men because Souček got sent off. But they look good. Bergvall looks a hell of a player.
He is a hell of a player.
Hell of a player. I think he's going to be absolutely... Yeah. That Spurs midfield is excellent, Barry.
It is. I would argue that playing against 11 West Ham players is probably easier than playing against just 10 of them, because there's an extra man there to make mistakes.
I know that, but a Spurs in the past may not have taken advantage of that. If you know, it feels to me like, I know they lost against Bournemouth, but Thomas Frank seems to have got his message across early.
Yeah.
And it does feel different. I mean, I know we were saying this about Ange's first mythical 10 games when I don't think they lost a game for 10 games when he first took over.
And they won 9, didn't they?
They won 9, something like that, But I, as I always say, I feel like Thomas Frank is not one of the managers who's guessing.
No, Frank is very clever. He's a very good communicator. His way of playing is not particularly complicated, so I'd say it's fairly easy to get his ideas across. And obviously you do have to caveat this performance by saying it was against West Ham. Like the first goal, Xavi Simons, I'm really looking forward to seeing how he gets on in the Premier League, because I remember he was playing for, I think it was PSV against Arsenal in a Europa League game a few years ago, and he absolutely tore them apart. And on the basis of that one performance, I have decided he is a great player.
He's a great player. Yeah. Okay, just on
the strength of one performance against an Arsenal fan or an Arsenal side that probably weren't that fussed. I can't remember how important the game was, but he just stood out as being brilliant. So I'm now looking forward to seeing how he gets on in the Premier League. But it was his corner, Pape Sarr. Pape Sarr didn't even have to jump to head it in.
West Ham
standing at the far post on his own and just boom.
West Ham and set pieces is bad. Was Graham Potter bad at set pieces with Brighton? I can't really remember when he had his golden period with Brighton.
I can't remember either.
I can't remember if that's his sort of Achilles heel. It never feels like a good pairing to me. Graham Potter and West Ham, they don't go together in my head. And I know they beat Forest 3-0, but that now looks a little bit like, well, maybe they knew the manager was on his way out, so the players didn't play to the best of their ability. And Jared Bowen just looks like he looks so good in that team. You want to free him from that side.
It's weird why he's still at West Ham. Because I thought even when he came on for England against Serbia, I thought he was really good. During the international break, he's like by a mile the best players West Ham have. I'm very disappointed with Lucas Paqueta. I thought now that gambling thing
off his back. Yeah,
that's behind him. I thought it'd be a weight off his shoulders, and he'd be like a new signing. No, well, he's like a new signing, a very bad signing. West Ham fans are unhappy with Potter. They're unhappy with Karen Brady. They're unhappy with David Sullivan. And when West Ham are playing badly, the whole thing about the stadium not being fit for football purpose
that comes back round, doesn't it? Around. Yeah. So, having to go through Westfield to get there, all those things sort of...
I've never actually seen a football match there. I was there for the Olympics quite a fair bit.
That was good.
Back in
Olympics,
2012.
Wasn't it? Yeah, that was good.
No, I didn't. I haven't been to a match there yet. But I do know a season ticket holder who's an elderly man who has the stick, and his season ticket is up very high and about 100 miles from the pitch. So.
Stop going. Just stop going. We've got about 2 minutes, Barry. Not even that, really. Do you want to talk about Newcastle v Wolves? Voltemada scoring. That was good. I like him. I like the look of him, Baz. I said, has he got bleached hair? And you weren't sure if it was highlights and a moustache. He looked like sort of Barry Venison. He looked. I think Newcastle United fans are going to love him, especially if he keeps scoring.
Well, he's already done what Alexander Isak hasn't done for Newcastle, which is turn up and play. Then he scored a goal on his first appearance. Yeah. I saw his post-match media or his pre-match, post-signing media stuff.
Right, yeah.
He seems like a good guy, nice guy, quite self-deprecating and funny. Obviously, as a Sunderland fan, I don't want Newcastle to do well, but the status of cult hero or just hero is there for the taking.
Imagine if that's his only ever goal for Newcastle.
I'd say that's
scored on debut, and then that was it. Never did anything again.
It was a good goal as well, but he's not just a goal scorer. He played well. He played football.
You want to say good touch for a big man? You can. You're allowed to say it, Barry, if you want to.
I took part in the Amazon Prime Peter Crouch documentary.
Oh, did you?
And I was interviewed.
That's where the 2.5 million comes from.
Yeah. 3.5.
Oh, so I apologise.
But I was interviewed for about 4 hours solely on the topic of Peter Crouch.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it was quite the grilling, actually. I thought it'd take
4 hours.
I thought it'd take about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But I was grilled for 4 hours. I'm pretty certain I did not use
the words. Well,
good touch for a big man.
Well, there we are. Wolves are in desperate trouble.
Do you know what they are? But I think West Ham are in worse trouble, even though West Ham have actually won a match. Wolves have won or lost 4 out of 4.
But is that expectation? Is that an expectation thing? Is the expectation higher for West Ham than it is for Wolves? They are European champions, of course. You'll never sing that.
No, I don't think so. I think a lot of people feared for Wolves. But from what I've seen, Wolves haven't been dreadful, and I actually think they'll be okay.
Okay.
But then Shay Given said that on Match of the Day last night, and then he second-guessed himself, and he said to Chappers, have I jumped the gun there saying that? And Chappers said, well, don't ask me.
You're the expert.
Chappers came out with a lovely line. Okay. He said, I'm the presenter of this show. You're not allowed to have an opinion.
Yeah, no, beautiful.
Very good.
Very good indeed. I didn't know that what you did on this bit of the show was just watch Match of the Day and then just repeat what they said on Match of the Day last night. Is that
well,
tactic?
If Shay Given says it, it must be true.
Bournemouth 2, Brighton 1. Good result for Bournemouth.
Very good result for Bournemouth because Brighton are sort of the bogey team. They'd lost 5 of their last 6 against Brighton. And I'm very disappointed with Brighton so far this season, I have to say.
Okay.
I expected big things from them. I predicted they would qualify for the Champions League, and they're going to make a fool of me, along with Everton, who I predicted would be relegated.
Did you? And who did Max put bottom of the league?
I think he
put
I think it was West Ham.
West Ham, well, so maybe he was right. We've got to break, but let's say Brentford 2, Chelsea 2, a late goal for Brentford, and I thought it was a fun game to watch. This is the warm-up on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins, doing what matters for the trade. Find out more at travisperkins.co.uk or download the app. Yeah, good morning, everybody. It's Charlie Baker and Barry Glendenning with the warm-up till 1:30. Let's look at the latest odds ahead of today's action with William Hill.
In the Zone on talkSPORT with William Hill. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
Yes, Sam Norris joins us from William Hill. Morning, Sam.
Morning, guys. You well?
Yeah, very good. Southampton Pompey, it's live on talkSPORT 2. What have you got for us?
Yeah, proper fiercely contested derby this time on the South Coast, isn't it? Southampton 3-4 in the betting. They've just been a little easy to back over the course of the last hour or so since the team news has been announced. Drifted a little bit. The draw is 13-5. Portsmouth on the board at 17-5. I found what I think is a good way into this match in the cards markets. You know, with it being a derby, a lot of punters want to go down the cards route. Portsmouth to have the most cards in the game, 17-10. I thought that was quite big, really, given that, you know, Southampton are odds on for the game, so you'd expect them to dominate possession. Pompey had 5 yellow cards in their last away game against Preston, and the man in the middle could be in an obliging mood today as well. The referee, Matt Donoghue, has already dished out 13 yellows and a red in just 3 championship games so far this season, so that always helps when you've got a referee who's pretty keen to lay down the law. But yeah, really looking forward to this one. Haven't had a South Coast derby in the league for a good while, but I think Pompey to pick up more cards than Southampton at 17-10 could be a decent way in, and as is the case with all championship games this season, you get Impact Sub on your side here at William Hill.
2 o'clock kickoff, Burnley v Liverpool.
Yeah, Liverpool 3 from 3 so far this season, despite not always being at their best. That's what champions do, isn't it? They're 7-20 to beat Burnley, who are 7-1. The draw is 4-1. We've got a lot of final one standing players that are hanging their hopes on Liverpool here as well. More than a quarter of players still alive in the 500k jackpot league have got Liverpool this weekend. A reminder, if you got knocked out of final one standing yesterday, you can jump in a new game right now. Look, they are expected to win. Liverpool have got an epic boost on the match as well, which is Mohamed Salah and Florian Wirtz both to have a shot on target. That's even money out from 4-7. Be surprised if he didn't have a shot on target, Salah, but he has got a peculiarly poor record against Burnley in recent times. No goals or assists in his last 6 matches against Burnley, which is pretty mind-boggling. We don't expect Alexander Isak to start, so it could be a game for Hugo Ekitike. He's 19-20 to score any time, 15-4 to score first, and the 24-5 for him to score 2 or more, again, could be helped out by Impact Sub. There's very much a scenario here where he scores 1, comes off, bet rolls onto the substitute, you'd still get paid out there. So I won't be surprised if this is a game for Ekitike with Salah's iffy record against Burnley recently, and he's probably not going to get the 90.
And what might be quite a tight Manchester derby.
Yeah, very much so. This is probably the best opportunity Manchester United have had for a while, I would say, of going to the Etihad and getting a result. City are still odds on at 3-4. The draw is 29-10. Manchester United are 3-1, but punters treating City with a bit of trepidation, having lost their last 2 matches. It looks right for a bet builder this game, though. And I should say, if you're having a bet builder on this match, you'll get a free football bet with us here at William Hill, thanks to Gold Weekend, our weekend full of offers, which just continues to roll on. And if you are looking for a bet builder, I've got one that weighs in at 18-1. It could be a hefty price. Going Manchester United to win. Not been impressed with City the last twice. And United come into this weekend with more shots than anybody else in the Premier League. All right, they're not scoring, but that's got to count for something. So United to win. Brian Mbeumo to have a shot on target. He's managed 4 in 3 games already this season. Looks a good signing. Premier League proven, etc., etc. And Bruno Fernandes to provide an assist as well. He's created more chances than any other player in the Premier League this season. That's an 18-1 bet builder. You get Impact Sub on the player markets, and once you place a bet builder on this game, you get a free football bet thanks to Gold Weekend here at William Hill.
And who's still in on final one standing finally?
Yeah, a lot of players got through yesterday with Newcastle in the 500k jackpot league. Newcastle accounted for 40+% of players still involved for the big money. So that got a lot through yesterday. Crystal Palace accounted for 13%. They were the 3rd most popular choice this weekend. So their 0-0 draw with Sunderland means that a good chunk of players go out. Next on the list, it was tight between Fulham and Chelsea. Chelsea, obviously, with a late Brentford goal, they've gone out. Fulham just squeaked through against Leeds yesterday. And as we say, 26%-ish have got Liverpool today for final one standing. So an opportunity for players to go through. And as we mentioned right at the top, if you got knocked out this weekend of any of the league, you can get right back in for next weekend.
Good stuff, Sam. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, guys.
That was the latest odds brought to you by Final One Standing, new from William Hill. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
In the Zone on talkSPORT with William Hill. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
There we are. We're going to go and talk to the Moose in a second. Sheffield United manager, you're getting sacked in the middle of the night doesn't really scan as well for the song.
Yeah.
Shame, isn't
well,
it,
Forest, they announced Nuno's departure at like midnight.
Yeah, lovely, isn't it? When they just so you can wake up to it. The Moose, Ian Abrahams, is at the St Mary's Stadium for us for Southampton versus Portsmouth. Morning, Moose.
Yeah, good morning. How are you?
Very, very good. Sounds lively.
Oh, it's been really lively. I mean, the fans have been coming in here. The Pompey fans were allowed in a little bit earlier today, so they were allowed in, I would say, probably a good 2 hours before kickoff, just after 10 o'clock this morning. And it is absolutely heaving inside St Mary's, and both sides are trying their level best to out-sing each other. The team used 2 changes for Southampton today. Out go Nathan Wood and Jay Robinson to the bench. In come Jack Stevens and Tom Fellows for his debut. And a debut too, second time round for Pompey in the guise of Connor Chapman, signed from Ipswich towards the end of the deadline. I think it was deadline day itself. Bianchini is the man who missed it out so that Chapman can make his debut. The 2 teams are out on the pitch in front of me. We've had all sorts of pyrotechnics let off by the Southampton Football Club, so there's quite a lot of red and white mist drifting across the pitch. The game is live on talkSPORT 2. What could be better this Sunday lunchtime?
Sounds absolutely crap. I don't think I'd want to play football in this.
Why?
It just sounds like absolutely insane. Like very angry. It sounds like an angry game.
Well, it is an angry game.
You are dreadful at football. Like that, so don't you think? Very angry about it.
I'm not sure football would be the profession for you.
I don't think it is.
Hostility.
Before we break, Charlie and Barry, you kicked off the show by reminding us it's the second week of September. Can you let us know your thoughts on Crescencio Somerville of West Ham wearing gloves v Spurs yesterday?
Oh, I didn't notice that.
In September. Wow, that's David from Poole in Dorset, up the cherries.
I wasn't aware he wore gloves.
No, I don't mind Liv. You know what I'm all about? People being who they are and finding the courage to make themselves happy in their lives. And if he needs to wear gloves to make him feel ready to play professional football, that's what he needs to do, Barry.
Well, I'm very much a live and let live.
Exactly. Far be it me to be scathing about Crescencio Somerville. Cry more, as they say, Crescencio.
Mbappe, Rob Eyes.
We've done an hour, Barry. We've got an hour and a half to go. I'm really enjoying it.
We've done an hour. We've an hour and a half to go, and we've been reduced to talking about Crescencio Somerville wearing gloves in September.
I prefer his brother Jimmy. Charlie Baker and Barry Glendenning with you through to 1:30.
Corinthian Casuals are a team in the Combined Counties League Premier Division South. Despite that, they're one of the most important clubs in world football. Here's why. The club was formed in 1939 as the result of a merger between Corinthians FC and Casuals FC. Now, Corinthians FC were founded in the late 1800s when the FA's top brass were sick of getting pumped by Scotland every time they played them. As a result, a man called Nicholas Lane Jackson set up an amateur side which would bring in the best players who could all play for the national side. And it worked. It wasn't long before England were dominating the international fixtures they played, and it was largely down to Corinthians. In fact, in 1894 and 1895, they played consecutive games where Corinthians provided the entire England 11. But the thing is, the players refused to play professional football. They didn't believe in it. They wanted to spread the values of sportsmanship, competition, and played for the love of the game. It also helped that most of the players were Oxbridge graduates who didn't need the money. But instead of entering the league and cup competitions, they played exhibition football and toured the world, bringing the beautiful game with them. And it was this which spread the game throughout the world and made it so popular. Most famously, in 1910, they travelled to Brazil. And the locals in Sao Paulo were so impressed, they started their own team under the same name. Yes, the same Corinthians who won the FIFA Club World Cup in 2021, one of the biggest football teams in Brazil. Now, they were global superstars, and despite not being professional, Corinthians drew in the crowds. Everybody wanted to play them, everybody wanted to watch them. So much so, they regularly played the winners of the FA Cup in what eventually became the Community Shield, winning most of the time. They actually inflicted Manchester United's worst defeat, 11-3, a record which still stands to this day. Now, fast forward to today, Corinthian Casuals still don't pay their staff or players. The ethos of sportsmanship is still at the heart of everything that they do. And even though they're a side in the lower leagues, if you make the trip to King George's Field in Tolworth just off the A3, you'll most likely bump into Brazilian Corinthians fans who often make the pilgrimage across the globe just to watch their founding team play.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. It's Charlie Baker and Barry Glendenning with you through till 1:30. There's been a goal. London City Lionesses v Man United in the WSL. Angelina Kelly.
It's London City Lionesses 0, Manchester United 1 after just 3 minutes. The away side go ahead thanks to a penalty scored by captain Maya Letizier. It was given after French forward Melvin Mallard was brought down in the box after already having a chance in the opening minute. Letizier really took her time and buried it into the back of the net. A very energetic start for Man United. London City Lionesses 0, Manchester United 1.
Thank you, Angelina. I've got to take issue with Terence Crawford in the news there.
Oh.
Barry, I mean, if he came in, I'd just deck him. You know that? You know, if he came in, Terence Crawford, the boxer, I'd...
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, just show him who's boss instantly.
Okay.
He said the cream always rises to the top, which is a well-known phrase.
Yeah.
You must have heard that before, Barry.
Mm-hmm.
Just asked AI.
Does the cream always rise to the top?
No.
Oh. Okay.
Cream does not always rise to the top, Barry. It depends on whether the milk has been homogenised. In non-homogenised milk, cream, being less dense, separates and rises to the top. However, most milk sold in supermarkets is homogenised, a process that breaks down fat globules and disperses them evenly, preventing cream from rising and giving the milk a consistent texture. So cream does not always rise to the top, Terence Crawford.
So you're saying Crawford's a fraud? You're calling him out?
I'm calling him out. I'm calling him out. He was fighting in the middle of the night, so I doubt he's up to hear it.
He might be.
If I'm honest. So it's...
I think if I had a fight in the middle of the night, I'd struggle to get to sleep afterwards.
You'd come and listen to this, do you think?
Yeah.
Hi, Charlie. Any chance of a second edition of Shoot Your Shot with Barry? Fantastic game. I can't remember what that was.
Neither can I, but it does sound familiar.
Did we do Shoot Your Shot?
I remember
Was it me and you, Shoot Your Shot?
We did a show and you said shoot your shot far too often than was necessary. It was annoying me, but I was too polite to say anything, as I recall. But I can't remember the context in which you kept saying shoot your shot.
What was shoot your shot? Can any John in Durham, if you can get in touch and let us know how the game worked. I wonder if
I don't think it might not necessarily have been a game, but I can't remember. Clearly, you felt I was bottling some task.
Okay. I think it's Max Rushton's game. I play 3 sports stars. I saw in exactly the same place. Can you raise it? Can't that? It doesn't sound like shoot your shot. That sounds absolutely... We are waiting at the moment to speak to James Pearce, who's going to... he's there. It's exciting. We don't have to talk about shoot your shot anymore, Baz, which is great news. Liverpool reporter for The Athletic. It's Burnley v Liverpool. It's a 2 p.m. kickoff. James Pearce is there for us. Hello, James.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Are we expecting to see Isak? I think that's what most people want to know.
Expected to see him off the bench. Yeah, that's the expectation. Waiting for confirmation, but certainly the noises from Arne Slot in the build-up to the game was that, of course, starting him was out the question with having missed so much training and so much game time since the back end of last season, but that he would be eased in gently. So, it wouldn't surprise me if we see him for the last 10, 15, maybe even 20 minutes today.
James, do any Liverpool fans have misgivings about the signing of Isak? I know he's a good player. I personally think he's slightly overrated. I don't think he's as good as some claim. But just the manner of his departure from Newcastle, did that sort of set any alarm bells ringing at all?
No, I don't think so. No, I haven't spoken to any Liverpool fans that feel that way. I mean, it's not like we haven't seen it before, have we? I think back to, Luis Suarez was banished to train on his own when he was trying to force through a move from Liverpool to Arsenal back in the summer of 2013. And, Philip Coutinho had a very mysterious back injury when he was trying to get that move to Barcelona in the summer of 20...
that went well.
2017. So it was... it's nothing new, is it? And I think also... we don't know the full story. I think that's the other important thing in this is when you hear Alexander Isak talking after that Sweden game the other night saying that people don't know what went on, and clearly with that statement he put out about broken promises and a breakdown in relationships in Newcastle, he felt very let down, and that was something that happened before Liverpool entered the fray. Once they got wind of the fact he was so unsettled, they obviously made their move for him.
Arne Slot's got zero excuses now, has he? He has spent plenty of money this summer. He's got most of his targets across the line. He's got 2 world-class players in most positions. He's got players who can play in other positions, like Szoboszlai playing at right back. I think last time out, an incredible midfielder, especially now he can score goals like that as well. It's the league at least, isn't it?
Well, they're in an incredible position. I think the fact that they haven't played well so far and got 9 points out of 9, that is bad news for the rest of the Premier League. I think I'm not surprised they haven't flown out the blocks performance-wise, because I think when you have so many changes, things are bound to be a bit disjointed, and you're trying to gel, and new players trying to adapt to new surroundings. There's a different dynamic, certainly this season. I mean, it was almost last season, Slot surpassed all expectations, didn't he? No one expected him to walk in. When you think back to this time last year, there was a lot of kind of murmurings of like Liverpool hadn't done enough in the market. They'd only brought in Chiesa, and then they went and surpassed all expectations. It's now there is more pressure. There's no doubt about that. When you spend over £400 million on new talent. Yes, they've generated about £250 million up to that in terms of sales. But this is a squad now built to try and last the pace, not just in terms of retaining the Premier League, but in the Champions League, because there's no doubt that Slot felt that last season they ran out of gas in the last kind of few months of the season.
James, Mo Salah has had, by his own high standards, a quite start to the season. And I heard somewhere, I'm not sure if it was a show previous to this or somewhere else, that his record against Burnley is weirdly atrocious. So do you have any explanation for his quiet start to the season?
No, I think, I mean, the thing is with Mo Salah is he set such crazy high standards over such an extended period that when he's not absolutely bang on it, you know, there is this kind of like, well, what on earth has happened to him? Yet, you know, of course, he scored on the opening night against Bournemouth. He was heavily involved in the winning goal for Rio and Gomorrah at St James's Park. So it's not as if he hasn't still been making a contribution. I think part of it is down to, you know, the change in dynamic and relationships in the team. You know, for so long, he was used to having Trent Alexander-Arnold behind him. You know, so far this season, you know, he had Frimpong obviously on the first game. Frimpong gets injured. You know, then there was Szoboszlai that is filled in there very well so far. And of course, you know, a new number 9 in Hugo Ekitike. Yeah. You know, a new number 10 in Florian Wirtz. So I just think it's inevitable that these things are going to take time to click.
Do we think Ekitike will be down the middle today? And if Isak comes on, they'll move him on to the left, or they'll take him off?
Yeah, I think it probably depends on the scenario in the game and whether Liverpool, you know, are still chasing the points or looking to close it out. But yeah, I think that's the one interesting thing going forward is how he does handle that dynamic between Ekitike and Isak, because yes, you know, they've made the point of saying, Slot has said that he thinks they can play together, and that, you know, of course, Ekitike had a great relationship with Mamouche at Frankfurt, and, you know, played as a second striker at times. He can play off the left as well, but there's no getting away from the fact that Ekitike has been, you know, a revelation through the middle so far. So yeah, I'm not expecting any changes in that kind of starting front line today with, you know, Gakpo left, Salah right, you know, obviously Ekitike leading the line, Wirtz playing just behind, and then Isak, not a bad impact sub to bring on if you need a goal.
Yeah. Burnley, newly promoted, of course. I think they've won one game v Sunderland at home. Is that right, Barry? Yeah. So they're obviously stronger at home than they are away. And Man United only beat them in the last minute by a penalty. Do you give them much hope today? What have they got to do? Just hold.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how they do approach it, because they've had a decent enough start, haven't they? They were certainly a feature of their promotion campaign last season was they were very, very solid defensively, weren't they? And I'm sure they'll be set up to try and frustrate Liverpool for long periods and hope to pick them off on the counter, a little bit like we saw Liverpool have issues in transition against Bournemouth and against Newcastle, but they did look a lot more secure and better organised in that win over Arsenal just before the break. But I think Liverpool's record at Turf Moor is actually very good. I think they've won the last 6. I think they've won the last 4 without conceding a goal. So, and you think with the firepower at Slot's disposal at the minute, you'd expect them to have too much for them.
I think so. Are you going to the game, James?
I am, yeah. I'm just pulled in just a few miles away from Turf Moor, so just about to complete the drive now.
Give us a score prediction. You're a Liverpool expert, James.
3-1 Liverpool.
There we are. 3-1. I think it's going to be more than that.
I can't see Burnley getting anything from this one. 3-1 sounds about right.
Oh, okay. I think it's going to be about 4 or 5.
But James Pearce is a Liverpool expert.
He is.
He has to get it right.
He has to get it right. Otherwise, it's embarrassing for you, James. But you've been excellent, and we really appreciate you joining us. Thanks so much.
Cheers, guys. Take care. Bye.
James Pearce there, Liverpool reporter for The Athletic.
I thought he'd already gone when I said that.
Oh, and he was still there listening to you. That's cheeky, Barry.
But it's pressure.
That means you're talking about people behind their back.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Yeah. I'd like to know what are you saying about people behind their back?
What am I saying about you?
Yeah, I know. See, that's the trouble. Then you create distrust. I find it hard to present the rest of the show with you, Barry.
I don't think I've ever said anything bad about you behind your back.
That's nice, isn't it? That's nice.
Ever.
That's what someone who says a lot of bad things about someone behind their back would say. It's Charlie Baker and Barry Glendenning with the warm-up till 1:30. Yeah, good afternoon. It's 12:19. This is Charlie Baker and Barry Glendenning. We're going to play the footballer game. And John Dunn is going to play with us as well. And I believe Natalie Sawyer has joined us in... Hello, Natalie. It's lovely to see you.
Believe she's joined us?
I believe Natalie is going to play us.
I am here.
I don't know if she's just joined us.
Not an apparition. I am right here.
I don't know if she's just hanging around to sit next to you, Barry.
Could be
or...
that, yeah.
I just thought I've got a Sunday off. I'll pop in.
I'll pop in and see Baz.
Sit beside Barry.
You must
For
be
no reason.
on a high from that last-minute equaliser.
There's nothing better because it feels like a win. I know he didn't win, but it feels like a win. And I thought we deserved something out of that game.
You played well.
Yeah.
How did you feel, Natalie, about Keith Andrews getting the job? I really want him to do well because he's
Happy birthday, Keith Andrews, for yesterday.
That's right. What a birthday treat.
Oh, lovely, wasn't it?
How did I feel? I had mixed thoughts on it because obviously it did feel like quite a step up.
Yeah.
But equally at the same time, look, Thomas Frank was a promotion from within, as was Mark Warburton when he took over from Uwe Rosler. So I kind of had to think maybe, just maybe, everyone making these decisions knows what they're doing and we don't so much. So listen, we've had some rocky games so far, but we've also had some great ones at home.
Transition.
It's a period of transition.
Right.
Right.
John Dunn, are you there? Can I hear you, John Dunn?
Good afternoon from Turf Moor, where it is wet and windy.
Oh, wet and windy Turf Moor. You had theme music yesterday on the Saturday warm-up, the less popular Saturday warm-up. But no theme music for you today, which is a bit of a shame. We're going to play the footballer game. Are you any good? Is Perry Groves going to join us for the footballer game? I'm getting shrugged at. I believe, though I can speak to Reese now. He's in a different room entirely. Reese, just a disconnected voice. Are you there, Reese?
Good afternoon.
Oh, very quiet. Very quiet.
He doesn't want to play the game.
Voice. I mean, it's a very technical game, isn't it? Reese, how are you feeling today? Where I have to ask you that.
We'll go for a 7.5 out of 10, how's that?
7.5 out. Where are you, Reese? Because I saw you this morning. So, are you on Virgin and radio at the moment? Are you presenting a show? Or?
I'm in an undisclosed location for my own safety.
Oh, I understand how that goes. Right. If everyone is playing is here, is Perry joining us? I'm getting... no, they're shaking their head. So Perry's not joining us. Reese, over to you for the footballer game.
Our first footballer began his career at Sheffield United in the year 2000, staying until 2007, scoring 18 goals.
Billy Sharp?
Nope, in 254 games. He then moved to Everton, where he stayed between 2007...
Frank Jeffers?
Nope, and 2019. Nope. Scoring 14 goals in 322 games. He was then back to Sheffield United.
Phil Jagielka.
It is Phil Jagielka.
Ah, Sawyer!
Yes!
Bang!
I was trying to think of his name.
Back of the net. Sawyer, she's 1-0 up. But we all said some footballers, so that's good, isn't it?
Element
John,
of knowledge.
I don't know if you can turn yourself up at all, John, but it's a very, very quiet voice at the moment. OK, go on then. Next footballer, please, Reese.
Our second footballer began his career at the Arsenal in 1989, staying until 1992, making just the one appearance and not scoring. He went on loan to Fulham in 91, where he scored 3 in 13. And nope, on loan to Bristol City, where he scored 8 in 12 in 1992. He then made his move to Bristol City permanent.
Andy Cole.
It is Andy Cole.
Ooh.
Andy Cole, there we go.
Or should I say Andrew Cole? My apologies.
Andrew Cole, very, very good. There's been a goal at Villa Park. Jeff Peters, hello.
Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 1. Aggie Beaver-Jones has put the champions in front midway through the first half. A header from close range. It's 2 in 2 games for her. She was on target in the win against Manchester City. Ellie Carpenter with the cross from the right-hand side. And a simple finish for the England striker. It's Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 1.
Thank you, Jeff Peters. It's Sawyer 1, done 1. You haven't done one yet, Barry.
I haven't.
Well, you did one earlier, and it was terrible. we had to... It's a childish joke, wasn't it, Barry? It's very childish.
I liked it.
I liked it. OK, Reese, how many footballers do we do? 3 or 4?
3.
3, OK, go on, Reese.
Our final footballer began his career at Man City in 2005, staying until 2010, scoring 16 goals in 138 games. He then moved on to Aston Villa, where he stayed between 2010 and 2014, scoring once in 47 games, taking in loans at Newcastle in 2011, where he played just the twice, and Stoke, where he played between 2013 and 2014, scoring twice in 13 games, before making the move to Stoke permanent between 2014 and 2018. Nope, where he didn't score in his 46 games, before finishing his career at Bolton, where he didn't play or score.
I mean, this is someone with a terrible career that's moved around a lot and not scored any goals.
But like going to Stoke.
But like, loved it in Stoke on a cold Tuesday night.
He scored 4 goals in 6 international games between 2006 and 2007 for the Republic of Ireland.
Oh, here we go, Baz. Come on, Baz. Come on, Baz. Come on, Barry. Anyone?
Go to the clubs against City, Villa,
Stoke, Newcastle on loan, Stoke on loan, Stoke permanently, and in Bolton.
No.
Joey O'Brien.
Nope.
Glenn Whelan.
Nope.
Glenn Whelan scored more goals than that, didn't he? Was it Coventry?
Richard Dunn. I know it's
Richard
not.
Dunn.
Nope.
That Sawyer's gone.
No, it's not Richard.
No idea. Go on, Reese.
It's Stephen Ireland.
Stephen Ireland, the most Irish of footballers.
It was on the tip of all of our tongues.
Steve in Ireland on line 1. Morning, Steve.
I'd completely forgotten about the existence of Steve.
Thank you, Reese.
No worries.
Appreciate it. Thank you, John.
Thank you very much.
Very much. Speak to you later on. Thank you, Natalie. What's on your show?
Oh, lots on the way, as you can
yes,
imagine.
of
It's very
course.
busy.
Yeah.
We don't have time to go through.
No time.
But it's very busy.
No time. There we are. Natalie Sawyer on after us at 1:30. This is Charlie Baker and Barry Glendenning with the warm-up.
football ground are you thinking of when someone says this?
Really tough place to go. Difficult place to go. Such a tough place to go.
It's a tough place to go at the moment.
It was a really difficult place to go.
But what are the toughest places to go, really? We've had a look. Forget a cold, wet Tuesday night in Stoke. Try a blizzard 220 miles inside the Arctic Circle. When Chelsea lost at Tromsø in Norway in the Cup Winners' Cup, a massive snowstorm hit at half-time. These two boys and their brooms were absolutely no match for it. We're staying in Scandinavia for Scotland's toughest away day on the side of a cliff in the Faroe Islands in Euro 2000 qualifying. The pitch at Toftir was like a cow field, never mind those gale force winds. The Faroe Islands part-timers equalised in stoppage time, cue Scandi scenes. But away trips don't come tougher than playing Bolivia at altitude in La Paz. Or so we thought. The Bolivians have now taken home advantage to another level, literally 500 metres further up the Andes to the country's highest city, El Alto, 4,100 metres above sea level. Meanwhile, the loudest stadium in world football officially is the Ali Sami Yen, where Galatasaray fans set a world record of 131 decibels. That's louder than Motorhead. But our most intimidating away day is in Wales. Prison team HMP Prescoed was briefly kicked out the Gwent League over concerns about young opposition having to go in there. Now that's a tough place to go.
Yeah, this is the warm-up with me, Charlie Baker, and Barry Glendenning, and you join us on the back of the very sad news that has just broken this morning that Ricky Hatton, the beloved British boxing legend, has tragically passed away at the age of 46. His body was discovered at his home in Manchester this morning, and Greater Manchester Police have confirmed the death is not being treated as suspicious. And Barry, he was one of those boxers who had mass appeal, had blue-collar appeal. I think he always gave everything for his fans. His fans would always turn up wherever he was, and that grew and grew and grew. And he'll be remembered, I think, more than just a boxer, symbol of determination, resilience, and a working-class spirit.
Yeah, well, he was born in Manchester, still living in Manchester. Very popular lad. Had his demons, which he was always happy to talk about. He had mental health issues, he had addiction issues, and it was a bit of a troubled soul. And this is one of those bits of news that sort of blindsides
knocks you sideways. Yeah. Let's bring in one of his friends and colleagues. Spencer Oliver is with us, talkSPORT's boxing correspondent. Spencer's such sad news. I'm sorry to hear about your friend.
Yeah, guys, shocking news. Really is. I've just literally walked through the door. I was doing a show for the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel last night up in Cannock. Literally walked through the door to find this news, and very sad, very sad. Ricky was a great fighter, that had a 15-year career, over 48 fights, and no one had the fan base that Ricky Hatton had. He had 20,000 people travelling over to Las Vegas when he boxed Floyd Mayweather back in 2007, and he had a glittering career. He really did, only losing 3 of those 48 fights, and they were to the best. A real sad loss, and it's a real sad loss. He's a beautiful guy, and my condolences go out to Ricky's family, at this time, but very, very sad news. 32
knockouts within those 48 fights. Tell us how great he was as a boxer, Spencer?
He was an incredible guy, you know, like you guys said, you know, he's a working class guy. He won the ABAs as a young kid at 18 years of age, and we always knew that he was a star in the making. I won Best Boxer of the Year in 1997. Ricky won it in 1998. And when he turned professional, you knew he was going to go places, and he'd become a two-weight world champion, and he boxed and beat the best. And people loved him for who he was. He was a real person, you know, and people loved that. They respected that. And he, like I say, he had the fan base that no other fighter has ever had from Britain. Ricky Hatton will go down as a British icon, a British boxing legend for sure. And he'll be sorely missed, because outside of boxing, he was a beautiful human being. And as you guys have already highlighted, you know, he did have his demons. He struggled with life after boxing. Yeah. Depression was a big thing. You know, mental health is a big thing.
But he was a huge advocate for that, wasn't he, as well, in talking about your problems?
He really is. And that word is thrown around way too much, by the way. You know, certain things happen to people when they pull out the mental health card. Mm-hmm. Well, Ricky Hatton was that guy, you know, and we saw that, you know, through his life. He had a troubled life after boxing. He could never really come to terms with life after boxing. He had he had a beautiful life outside of that, but it wasn't enough. Boxing was really, you know, a big part of that he missed and couldn't get over. So, yeah, I'm just
It's tough, Spencer. I understand it's your friend, and so it's tough for you to talk about. So don't let us push you at all on this. I just wanted to, looking at his fight record, he was fearless. He'd take anybody on. He fought the best: Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, and he of course beat Kostya Tszyu to claim his WBA light welterweight title. These aren't soft men. You have to have a certain strong mentality and back yourself in the ring to be able to go in with these guys.
You really do. Like Ricky Hatton, when he beat Kostya Tszyu at the MEN Arena up in Manchester in 2005, I actually picked Frank Bruno up on the way up there, actually. We was going up to work on that fight, to commentate on that fight. And that was the night when Ricky Hatton really become a global star, because he wasn't meant to win that fight. Kostya Tszyu at that time was known as the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, and Ricky went there. He was a WBU champion, was not really a recognised world title. He defended that a few times, and you thought this was a step too far, a bridge too far for Ricky. But boy, did he show courage in that. He showed character in that, and you know, he pulled off a memorable victory, one of the best victories I've ever seen in a British ring for sure. And the crowd there that night were absolutely incredible. And you know, I think Ricky's fan base grew from then. And yeah, it's just such a sad loss.
It's sad, isn't it? It's a British great, and a big Man City fan as well, Baz. And it's the Manchester derby today. I'm sure that they'll mark it in some sort of way there.
One imagines they will, and there will be people going to that game who are good friends with Ricky Hatton, who will be dazed, confused, sad, like Spencer clearly is, yeah. And all you can do is wish them well, because I've had experience of this in recent weeks, not personally finding a friend, but having to call the police to arrange a welfare check. It's quite a grim thing to have to go through, and I wish just everyone connected with Ricky all the very, very best.
Yep, Spencer. I think it's quite tough for you. I'm gonna let you go if you'd like to go. And thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks so much, guys. And yeah, my condolences go out to Ricky Hatton's family at this very sad time.
Spencer Oliver there, our talkSPORT boxing correspondent, on the very sad news that's just breaking that Ricky Hatton has died at the age of 46. What are your memories of Ricky Hatton, watching him box? Quite showbiz outside of the ring. If you'd like to give us a call, we'll take your calls on this, because he was for the fans. That's what I remember.
He was incredibly popular.
Incredibly popular. I'm just going to give out the phone number so people can call us, Baz, and then 03717 223344, 03717 223344. Call in on the very sad news that Ricky Hatton has died this morning, just been found at the age of 46. But give us your memories of Ricky Hatton in the ring or outside the ring. Maybe you met him somewhere. Okay. This is talkSPORT. Charlie Baker and Barry Glendenning. Oh, this is Charlie Baker and Barry Glendenning with the warm-up. We're going to go to the London City Lionesses versus Manchester United. Angelina Kelly's there for us. Angelina.
It's London City Lionesses 0, Manchester United 2. A fantastic goal from Jade Riviere in the 33rd minute on her 50th appearance for United. She shot from the right-hand side from a really tight angle on the edge of the box, actually near the byline, and she absolutely fired it into the top far corner. The goalkeeper, Eleni Lete, probably should have done better, but nonetheless, a great goal. London City Lionesses 0, Manchester United 2.
Thanks, Angelina. Jeff Peters is at Villa Park for us. Villa v Chelsea.
It's Villa 1, Chelsea 1. Villa have levelled through Ebony Salmon. And after Aggie Beaver-Jones gave Chelsea the lead, it's been all Villa since then. A beautiful finish from Salmon from the edge of the penalty area. She's had another opportunity since then, denied by Hannah Hampton, and the goalkeeper has also kept out an effort from Kirsty Hansen. Terrific game this, approaching the break. Villa 1, Chelsea 1.
Thanks, Jeff. For those of you just joining us, there's been some very sad news this morning that Ricky Hatton, the British boxing legend, has tragically passed away at the age of 46. His body was discovered at his home in Manchester. We've opened the lines to hear from fans because he loved his fans. Carl joins us now. Hello, Carl. Good morning.
Good morning, gents. Good morning. What sad news?
Very sad news indeed.
I just wanted to share a very quick story. Over the last sort of 20, 30 years, I've been watching Ricky. He's my favourite boxer. And I was telling all my football colleagues, just a local football team on a Saturday, and made them stay back to watch one of his fights. I can't remember who it was, but it was about 30 years ago, and he was on his way up. They didn't really know who he was at that time, and I was evangelising about how his body shots were killer, and you know how he did it his way. And true enough, we all stayed that night, and they were blown away. And he knocked the guy out by a body punch, and that for me was just such a vivid memory of his style, his way of boxing, and just what he brought to it, and the way that he brought all of those fans to him. Like you were just saying about that fight at the MEN, as soon as people watched him fight, they were instantly just attached to him, and it's such a sad loss.
He's one of those boxers who felt like one of us in the ring, Carl.
Absolutely, and outside, you know, and that's why people resonated with him, because, you know, you felt connected to him, and he was such a real person, and, you know, he kept it real for the whole time, and I guess in the end, to his detriment a little bit with his struggles after boxing, but to me, he was just one of us, and it's a real sad loss, and what a talent. What an absolute talent.
Yeah, real talent. Thanks for getting in touch, Carl. Carl called us on 03717 223344 if you'd like to give us your memories of Ricky Hatton, who has sadly passed away at the age of 46. Ricky joins us from West London now. Good morning, Ricky.
Good morning.
Very, very sad news.
Yeah. My condolences to his family, because he's just such a terrific guy, a proper people's person. It's a tremendous loss to everyone in the world, I think. World of boxing, just everything. Just a proper people's champ.
Yeah.
I actually met him on the M62 kind of thing. Well, I didn't meet him, but he was in the car next to me, and he was in the passenger seat, and I couldn't recognise him, but he kept looking at me going, you know, like, oh, come on then, recognise me. And then it went until I saw the little long-style gloves and the ring mirror. I thought, oh, no way. So I went, oh, Ricky, started being for my own, showing him my tattoo with my name, Ricky, and he was like, yeah, nice one. And his driver wasn't very happy, but and then I looked and I nearly crashed my van because of it.
And what are your memories? What are your memories of him in the ring, Ricky?
Oh, he was just an absolute pure champion, wasn't he? His heart, his heart on his sleeve, didn't he? He went in there and just went to town on everyone, didn't he? He was just a proper fighter, a proper scrapper, and that. And I'll never forget the Mayweather fight, and I was really sad when he lost that fight. But even more sad now, to be honest. But yeah,
but he wasn't scared to go in, was he? And that was the thing that set him apart, I think.
Yeah, and it's just a shame that he's come to this, and mental health and all the rest of it.
And, we don't know the circumstances yet, so I will just say that, Ricky. Yeah, it's fine. Thanks for calling in. We really appreciate it. Hope you feel okay.
Thank you.
That's Ricky in West London. 03717 223344 if you'd like to share your memories of Ricky Hatton, as Jim has called us. Good afternoon, Jim.
Oh, hi there. How are you?
It's
I'm ringing to say I never actually met Ricky Hatton, but my cousin Danny, I don't sound it, but I'm from Belfast, a place called Ardwyn.
Yeah.
There's a fighter there called Eamon McGee, who's a good friend of my cousin Danny, and Eamon fought Ricky a long time ago, lost, but he said, what a gentleman afterwards, and Eamon had a lot of demons in his life, and he said Ricky really helped him, always spoke to him regular, and was a real good guy out of boxing. And I just thought I'd just share that, say it wasn't just about the boxing, he actually looked after and cared about an opponent after the fight.
Yeah.
That's the sort of bloke he was.
He was a good advocate for being a human being, I suppose, Jim.
I think so. I mean, where Eamon came from, Ardwyn, it's a rough area, and he had a lot of run-ins with wrong people there as well. And Ricky always phoned out and made sure he's okay and talked to him after the fight. Nice. It's a nice.
I think maybe that's what he had going for him as well, Jim, is that you felt like you knew him.
Well, no, not really. I just thought, what a nice bloke. Who else would do that? Or what other? I suppose boxing is a different, weird world that none of us who don't box just don't realise that it's so close and people are just so connected, I suppose. Opponents before and after. But anyway, he was a gentleman.
Jim, thank you so much for calling in. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Jim called us on 03717 223344. You can also get in touch on 81089. Ben has done that. And he says, such terribly sad news about Ricky Hatton. I'm a year older, a heroic British boxer of my generation. Quintessentially British. Think of Hatton, think of Britain courage. The underdog with the spirit of a lion. Rest in peace, Ricky Hatton. The fight has ended. The last bell has rung. Thanks, Ben, for that on 81089. Shiraz has joined us. Good morning, Raz.
Hello, mate. How are you doing? You all right?
Yeah, I'm okay. Very, very sad news this morning that Ricky Hatton has died at the age of 46.
Yeah, R.I.P., mate. R.I.P. I picked him up 3 times as a cab driver, mate, over the years. And I mean, the first time he wasn't that well. Second time, you know, I remember taking him through McDonald's drive-through, mate. But the last time I picked him up, I think it was after the Eubank Ben fight, mate, and it was just a different Hatton, mate, honestly. He was looking for, I think he was fighting some exhibition maybe, or he was fighting somebody in a few months' time. And he said he was looking to sell his house as well, because there was some kind of housing development going on behind his house. And he had a really good chat, mate, really good chat. He just seemed in a much happier place, mate, honestly.
Yeah.
He was thinking of moving to Spain as well. And all I want to say, you know, shout out to his family, mate, and hope he can get well with it. And Ricky Hatton, R.I.P. There's only one Ricky Hatton, mate.
Thank you, Raz. Appreciate it. Raz got in touch on 03717 223344. As you can imagine, Barry, the phone lines are very, very busy. Lots of people want to.
He was an incredibly popular
guy, yeah.
And the crowds he used to take to Vegas. I mean, I'm not particularly a boxing fan.
No, but
and I'm struggling off the top of my head to remember too many of his fights, but he was a scrapper, wasn't he?
He was a scrapper,
a real scrapper.
A relentless boxer, would always just come forward, never scared of anybody. If you are just joining us, it's the sad news that Ricky Hatton, the beloved British boxing legend, has tragically passed away at the age of 46. Steve joins us now on 03717 223344. Good afternoon, Steve. Sad news.
Yeah, really sad news. I know him, you know, when he used to come to the boxing club, he used to box at our local boxing club in Sale in Manchester. I used to be one of the coaches there.
Oh.
And he was a real up-and-coming, you know, star. You could see it when he was a young kid.
Mm-hmm. And what did he have as a young kid, Steve, that sort of set him apart?
Well, you used to see loads of kids used to come to the training sessions, but he had something different. He had that hungry desire. He was just, you know, you could see other kids who might have been able to move around the ring a little bit better than he could, but he didn't have the same attitude. He used to go into his corner when he, you know, as an amateur, and he was destructive. He was single-minded. He was an amazing young man. He was dedicated to the training, and he was also humble. You know, he never went round the gym thinking he was the best boxer. He just, you know, we could put one kid in after the next kid. He was just a really good kid. And, you know, he had, you know, some good mentors there who, you know, older than I was, who used to run the boxing gym at Sale West Boxing Club. And his dad, Ray, used to come to all the sessions with him. So he had a good, you know, good support from his dad, especially when he was an amateur. And he went to the ABAs and everything. He was just a good, solid kid. He, you know, he used to hit the bag so hard. You know, he was a tremendous, you know, watching him in the ring. And he was just dedicated. And you had other clubs come down and he'd put kid after kid in with him. And he'd, you know, he'd do his best to stay on top, even when the kids were older or bigger than him. He'd come out and he just, you know, he was getting the most out of every training session.
So watching him go on to become world champion must have been an incredible experience for you, Steve.
Yeah, it was amazing. And he's a big City fan. I'm a City fan. I'm going to the game today.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, I've just put in our group chat, you know, because of a few of the lads who, you know, me. And,
he was held in high regard by City fans, wasn't it? I think did he parade his belt around?
Yeah, he's done that. He's done loads of, you know, exhibitions, you know, but he's a massive City fan. So is his son, Campbell. The whole family, you know, they only live close by to where I used to live. I'm from Manchester, and, you know, I was brought up right in the inner city, and a lot of us, you either go City or United.
Mm-hmm.
So today is a big day for us.
Yeah,
but,
of course.
Just hearing the news coming through, knowing he's a massive City fan as well, I'm sure there'll be some sort of a tribute at the game today.
Yeah, very sad news, Steve. Thanks for sharing your memories of him, your specific memories as well. Really nice to hear about him as a young child. If you are just joining us, the sad news that Ricky Hatton has died at the age of 46 has just broken. Ryan has called us on 03717 22 3344. Good afternoon, Ryan.
Hello, lads. How's it going?
It's a sad day, Ryan.
It's the first time I've ever called in the talkSPORT. It just hit me like a hammer this morning when it came up on my phone that Ricky Hatton had died. And it's unbelievable because for me, he's never, although he was respected and he was the most loved working class fighter of all time, I think he has never got the true respect for. People talk a lot about the boom years in boxing. Ricky Hatton was the man that built the boom years on his back. Don't get it.
Yeah.
Don't be mistaken. They talk about Anthony Joshua and Carl Fratch and all these people. Ricky Hatton was the man. What did he bring? 20,000 English people to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
In New York. There'll never be crowds and people will spend their money. Big money, working class people following him all over the world. That'll never happen again. That's how loved he was, It's a genuine, true working class, hero, an English warrior, and it's just sad, so sad. The man had everything, all the money in the world, and he's dead at 46. He didn't duck anybody. He fought Mayweather and he fought Pacquiao, and the two best and at the weight in the world, elite fighters, and he came up short. But do you know what I mean? It's just I just sorry he didn't get the true respect put on his name for truly. He is responsible for the boom years. We all know it.
Okay.
When Sky Boxing really took off in the late 90s and early 2000s, it was all built on the back of Ricky Hatton. He had more support than anyone.
Ryan, you're clearly a boxing aficionado. What was special about Ricky as a boxer?
Well, he just it was body punches for a start, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He took people out with body punches, and he was like a throwback fighter to the old days of McGuigan and Roberto Duran, them kind of fighters that just came forward, and he had a heart of a lion, and that was really his undoing against Pacquiao, wasn't it? Where he came forward, but
too brave.
He didn't know any other way. Do you know what I mean? It's just so lovable, wasn't he? One of the last callers, or it was one of yourselves, said that you thought that you knew him. He was just one of the lads. You know what I mean?
Ryan,
one of the lads.
Thanks so much for your memories and your thoughts. We really appreciate it. Tony's called us on 03717 22 3344. Tony, you met Ricky.
Yeah, hi there. First of all, could I say condolences to his family, please?
Yes.
I met him in 2003. It was the Commonwealth Games at City Manchester Stadium.
Oh, yeah.
And we had a reception for the games, charity do. And Ricky donated his sunglasses for the reception. And it was like a champagne reception. And I went in there, and he had a pint of Guinness. I couldn't believe it. I love drinking champagne. I just said to him, Ricky, where did you get that from? And he took me to this side room. He had a little fridge with a few cans of Guinness in. And he invited me in for a drink. So I had a drink with him and had my picture taken with him. And I'm just so sad about the news.
Yeah, very sad. Thank you, Tony, for that lovely memory. Really lovely. One last one before we break. We've got so many calls on 03717 22 3344. If you're just joining us, the sad news that Ricky Hatton has died aged 46. Ollie, you also met Ricky Hatton.
Yeah, hi guys.
Hello, Ollie.
I'm driving my son to football, and the news has hit me hard, to be honest, because not only did I meet him in 2007 when I went out to Vegas for the Mayweather fight, you might remember,
yes,
the amount of Brits that went out to support him. After the fight, we were in a different hotel, it wasn't the MGM, and we went to play blackjack, and he rocked up and he just sat beside us, battered and bruised, played blackjack with us, and we all started a rendition of There's Only One Ricky Hatton.
Oh, fantastic.
And you would not have known he just had his lights battered out of him. And then, I've had my career in sport. I actually worked in boxing as well. I still ran boxing, and I used to see him in the circuit. I would always joke with him whenever I saw him about that. And, he was just such a lovely, affable guy. it has hit me quite hard, actually. I think it's the shock.
Yeah. It's a lovely remembrance of Ricky Hatton there, Ollie. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thanks to everybody who's called in so far, sharing their memories of Ricky Hatton, who has sadly died aged 46.
Tyson Fury, Floyd Mayweather, Canelo Alvarez. Just hearing these names makes you think money and the hundreds of millions of dollars, pounds or Saudi riyals in boxing. But that's at the top. At the bottom, it isn't quite the same. Even for those on the rise, there's not an awful lot of cash in the boxing world. And if you're just starting out, well, it can be a very costly exercise indeed. But don't take my word for it. Here's the former European champion, talkSPORT's Spencer Oliver.
You're turning professional and you're boxing, let's say, York Hall on a non-televised fight. You have to sell tickets to earn any money, but you have to cover the wages of your opponent as well. So if you don't have the ability to be able to sell enough tickets, you effectively have to pay to fight.
A far cry then from Jake Paul facing Mike Tyson in 2024, when the purse was reported to be around £48 million. But the vast amounts of cash lining the top dog's pockets isn't the norm in a typical fight.
Let's say you're lucky and you get between 5 and 10 grand. You're going to get 10 grand max for that. 10% goes to the trainer, 25% goes to the manager. Then we've got the tax man to pay as well. So we're cutting that money in at least half. So now you've got 5 grand for a 10-week camp. So you're talking about a guy here earning, he might be clearing 500 quid a week. How do you support a family on that? So boxers chase the dream. And, you know, there's probably 2% of them that actually make it.
So say you do make it and you start to rise up the ranks. Strikers Boxing, a training academy, says the mid-tier fighters can earn more, somewhere between £10,000 and £50,000 a fight, depending on record, profile, opponent and popularity of weight class. It's only at the top level does the real cash start flowing in, with the top-tier professionals, i.e. those going for titles, earning 6 figures a fight. Something else you'll have heard of is the terms prize fighter or journeyman. A prize fighter is, as it sounds, someone who picks up fights where they can and gets a nice big check if they win. Journeymen are the fighters who take on up-and-comers, effectively used for experience in the ring. Even if they're going up against the real prospects, a young Anthony Joshua, for example, these guys will be lucky to earn more than 10 grand. So the average boxer isn't as rich as you'd think.
Yeah, this is Charlie Baker and Barry Glendenning. You join us on a very sad day. We find out that Ricky Hatton, the beloved British boxing legend, has tragically passed away at the age of 46. We will be taking more calls from you with your memories of Ricky Hatton on 03717 223344, and you can text us on 81089 if you'd like to share your memories of Ricky as well. There is still sport going on, so we will take updates. We're going to go now to Angelina Kelly, who's at the Lionesses versus Manchester United. Angelina.
It's London City Lionesses 0, Manchester United 2. The second half has just got underway. It was a really lively first half of football, though, with United captain Maya Letizia marking her 100th appearance for the club with a penalty in the 3rd minute, and Jade Riviere also finding the back of the net for the Reds with a great strike 33 minutes in. The Lionesses will be feeling a bit hard done by. They've had an array of chances so far, forcing the United goalkeeper Fallon Tullis-Joyce into some really good saves, but so far Man United have been the more clinical side. London City Lionesses 0, Manchester United 2.
Jeff Peters is at Villa Park.
It's Aston Villa 1, Chelsea 1. It's been a cracking WSL game so far. Aggie Beaver-Jones put Chelsea in front midway through the half. The England striker heading into an empty net from close range. Villa levelled thanks to a stunning finish from Ebony Salmon. She had a delicious first-time right-foot finish, curled sweetly beyond Hannah Hampton into the far corner. Hampton then made really good saves from Salmon and Kirsty Hansen. Triple change for Chelsea at the break. Villa 1, Chelsea 1.
Ian Abrahams at St Mary's, Southampton versus Portsmouth.
Half-time, Southampton 0, Portsmouth 0. Best moment of the half was from Andre de Zella Pompey, just outside the penalty area. A shot which curled onto the crossbar past Bazunu. At the other end, Southampton have come forward menacingly, but without much quality up front. Half-time at St Mary's, Southampton 0, Portsmouth 0. It's live on talkSPORT 2.
Burnley-Liverpool is the 2 o'clock kickoff. John Dunn has headline team news for us at Turf Moor. John.
Record signing Alexander Isak begins his Liverpool career as a substitute as Arne Slot names an unchanged side from the win against Arsenal 2 weeks ago. The champions 3 from 3 in the new campaign. If they avoid defeat today, they'll go back to the summit of the table. Burnley make 2 changes following that late defeat at Manchester United before the international break. Loon Chanwa comes in for his first Premier League start. Josh Lauren also in. They replace Jakob Brun-Larsen and Hannibal at Turf Moor, Burnley and Liverpool.
There's been a goal in the Lionesses versus Manchester United game. Angelina Kelly.
It's London City Lionesses 0, Manchester United 3. They have got the second half off to a brilliant start with a great goal from French international Melvin Mallard. London City Lionesses 0, Manchester United 3.
Thanks, Angelina. If you are just joining us, very sad news today that Ricky Hatton, the boxing legend, has tragically passed away at the age of 46. His body was discovered at his home in Greater Manchester this morning, and the Greater Manchester Police have confirmed the death is not being treated as suspicious. It is the Manchester Derby today, and somebody who I'm sure will have known Ricky Hatton is the Manchester football correspondent for The Guardian, Jamie Jackson. And Jamie joins us now. Good afternoon, Jamie.
Good afternoon.
Very sad news. I'm assuming you knew Ricky as he was Manchester royalty.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, absolutely horrible news. Before I started covering the Manchester clubs for The Guardian, I did quite a lot of boxing. I did his 2008 fight against Juan Lascano. It was billed as the homecoming. It was at the Etihad Stadium, where obviously the derby is going to be this afternoon. 56,000 people, fans, basically all Ricky Hatton fans.
Yeah.
I remember walking to the Etihad from Manchester Piccadilly train station. It was sort of the end of May. The season had ended, football season anyway. It was a beautiful summer's evening. Obviously ringside for the fight, and it was the first fight actually after he lost to Floyd Mayweather Jr. so bravely in Las Vegas. And you know, it was just brave, I think, is a great word to describe Ricky Hatton. Front foot forward all the way in this fight. Considering he had come off the first defeat of his boxing career to Floyd Mayweather Jr., to show that kind of courage and just pugilistic ability, basically. And he's one of these people who, if you're in his presence, he just made you feel better. And I think that is kind of, a lovely. So if you're able to make other people feel better, then you are a lovely human being. Yeah. So 46 years old. I mean, I am shocked. I'm married to a sort of a Mancunian, if you like, and it sort of this sort of thing resonates and matters to people because it's just so sad.
Jamie, I was just during the break there reading an interview our friend Don McRae did with Ricky years ago. I think it was before the Pacquiao fight, and Hatton stressed throughout that it's important that his fans see him as an ordinary bloke and their mate. Is that how they saw him?
Yeah, 100%. And that's what made what he did so beautiful and so sort of inspiring, because he was, a normal person, but he was able to sort of, through sheer hard work. I mean, boxing, I'm lucky enough to have covered all the sports, basically, as a reporter. And boxing for me is easily the hardest for all those obvious reasons. So for to show such courage and hard work to get yourself right to the very top, world champion, while still, being a person that everyone, I don't care who you are, what class you're from, what background, relate to someone like Ricky Hatton, because he was just sort of so real and so sort of infectious a human being. And so, he was totally a normal bloke. And, part of that was being a massive Manchester City fan. Yeah. And I think the club would say Ricky Hatton, embodied kind of what Manchester City are about as a sort of, a people's football club with an amazing fan base.
There is a football match this afternoon, Manchester City versus Manchester United. Is at the Etihad. Do you want to talk about it, Jamie? I think Ricky would want to talk about it, so we should probably talk about the match.
One presumes, Jamie, City will almost certainly do something to mark this sad occasion.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard yet, but obviously this very sad news just broken, but I'm on my way to the Etihad after, we've had this chat, and I would expect so. I mean, as I say, loved and revered in equal measure at that football club. It will be a sombre sort of occasion towards the start of kickoff, as it should be. But as you just sort of said that, Charlie, he loved Manchester City. So from his City fan and City's point of view, they will hope for a win. But what they'll really hope for is just to sort of play their best. And, the result, as Pep Guardiola always says, takes care of itself. You just have to play your best. And I'm sure they will. But yeah, I imagine there will be tributes. And, driving into the ground now, is going to be, a sombre, once I start the walk over from where we planned, it'll be a sombre sort of walk, but that's as it should be, really, because someone like this needs to be sort of remembered correctly.
Just to talk about the game itself, I think Man City will be confident going in against a slightly shaky Manchester United defence and slightly shaky goalkeeping situation with Haaland, who's just scored 5 on the international break and will be coming in very confident.
Yeah, I mean, this is an interesting one about the goalkeepers. You've also got the Trafford Donnarumma situation at City. And then, it's going to be Altay Bayındır. We know that starting for Manchester United. They're in a bit of a pickle here at United with this goalkeeping situation. I've written a couple of pieces about this because, Bayındır hasn't, he's obviously a very good keeper, but he hasn't exactly shown that he can be the number one yet. Yeah. Maybe he will, sometime will take hold of the jersey. It's either going to be him or Lamens now, obviously, Senny Lamens, as the season goes on. But, if you're Pep Guardiola or any of us, you'd be coaching this team, putting a few high balls towards Bayındır and see how he handles them, getting close to the keeper. But, it's the old cliche with derbies. Form does go out the window. I think City are definitely the favourites, but you just don't know with this game. I'm lucky enough to have covered multitudes of them, and they're always a bit topsy-turvy.
Yeah. Who's it a more important game for, do you think? Which manager?
It's an interesting question. I think because City have lost the last 2, in the league, I'd say probably for Pep, which, don't get me wrong, he's got all the collateral of his success. He's unbelievable genius of a manager, head coach, however you want to term it. But I think the juncture we're at the moment, I'd say possibly for City. As usual, it's going to be juicy.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, Jamie. Very sad
Jamie.
Day, sad news for Manchester. And sing his name for us, will you? He's gone. There we are. Alex has called us on 03717 223344. Good afternoon, Alex. A very sad afternoon. What are your memories of Ricky Hatton? Hello, Alex. Are you there? Okay. Josh has joined us as well on 03717 223344. Good afternoon, Josh.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
Well, a very, very sad occasion. I believe you met Ricky a couple of times.
Yeah, so, I mean, first of all, condolences to his family.
Of course, yeah.
Very, very tough listening to everyone. Well, brilliant listening to everyone's memories. But, yeah, I met him a couple of times. I mean, I'm a City fan myself. So when I was younger, it was the last game at Main Road, actually, and we was in hospitality, and it was a meal with Ricky Hatton. So we met him there, which was fantastic, a fantastic occasion, even though we lost.
Yeah. That seems to be the thing, that he'd be accessible no matter what position he was in.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he was so... I mean, and then on the concourse, I've met him a few times down at the FA Cup final, down at Wembley, and he was just in and amongst the fans with all of us. And I followed him, you know, when he was with his fights in Vegas and things like that. He was just... He was one of us.
Yeah.
And it's... I mean, I'm tearing up a bit because he just meant so much to us as fans.
Thanks for sharing with us, Josh. Really appreciate it. Alex has called us on 03717 223344. Good afternoon, Alex.
Hi, guys. How are we doing? Yeah, just really, really shocked, saddened by the news. I mean, listen, Ricky, he brought on a whole our generation. So I'm early 30s. And, you know, I look back on that Mayweather in particular, the build-up to the Mayweather fight. The build-up alone is just cinema.
Yeah.
And boxing, they can't ever recreate that. And he did. He brought on a whole generation of fans like myself to the sport, and I've been lucky enough that I've met him a couple of times. And funny story, actually, I was with him speaking to the guy who was discussed the hospitality event earlier. So I was with him at a hospitality event, a charity event, and I was actually the highest bidder to spar him, and the price was £10,000. And I'll be very honest with you guys, I didn't have £10,000 to spar.
Yeah.
Very luckily, a lovely woman got involved just right at the end, and she outbid me.
Oh, thank goodness for that.
The first thing, honestly, the first thing Ricky did, he came straight over to my table and he said, "Mate, I would have knocked you out for free." And I think that's just it, really good. It sums up the character. He spoke to us. He was working class. He was hilarious. He was such a funny guy. And listen, it's not just a sad loss for the sport. You know, he's just a huge character. And listen, the Manchester derby today, I know that every single man, I'm a Manchester United fan. I'm a Red. I know every Red will be singing "There's Only One Ricky Hatton" today. And he is the only man who could do that. So, yeah, touched, guys. Very touched.
I'm very impressed, Alex, that you were willing to pay £10,000 you didn't have to get beaten up by Ricky Hatton.
Listen, I wasn't willing. It was a champagne talking, guys.
Yeah.
As you can imagine.
The power of the man. Thanks so much for sharing, Alex. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Have a good day, guys.
And you. The sad news that Ricky Hatton has left us, found this morning in Manchester, dead at just the age of 46. Charlie Baker and Barry Glendenning this morning with the warm-up. You join us with the very sad news that Ricky Hatton, the British boxing legend, has tragically passed away at the age of 46. His body was discovered this morning at his home in Greater Manchester. Greater Manchester Police have confirmed the death is not being treated as suspicious. If you want to get in touch with your memories of Ricky Hatton, we've been taking calls, some great calls so far, so great to hear all the stories and what he meant to people. 03717 223344, or you can text us on 81089. There is live sport going on, as there always is, on talkSPORT. London City Lionesses versus Manchester United. Angelina Kelly.
It's London City Lionesses 0, Manchester United 4. United's impressive form has continued as French forward Melvin Mallard scored a brace just 5 minutes into the second half. The first, thanks to an assist from Jess Park, she fired it into the far corner. The second saw Anna Sandberg cut the ball back from the byline for Mallard to head it home. United defender Millie Turner, though, unfortunately, she's just been stretchered off the pitch with an injury as Dominique Janssen replaces her. London City Lionesses 0, Manchester United 4.
And at Villa Park is Jeff Peters.
Aston Villa 1, Chelsea 2, and the champions are back in front 10 minutes after the restart. Corner swung in, Roebuck, the keeper, palmed it away. Villa then couldn't clear it. Kira Walsh hit it left-footed. It took a hell of a deflection off Missy Bo-Kearns. It may go down as an own goal, but Walsh taking the plaudits, and Chelsea have started the second half brighter after being on the back foot at the end of the first half. An hour gone, it's Villa 1, Chelsea 2.
Thanks, Jeff. Few texts here, Barry, have come in. They all say very similar things and how much he meant to people. PD in Devon has been in touch. Devastating news regarding Ricky Hatton, true man of the people, probably Britain's most popular sporting athlete of a generation, the heart of a lion, boxing champion, legend. R.I.P. You will be sorely missed. Good afternoon, fellas. Just seen the news regarding Ricky Hatton. This hits hard and should be a reminder that life is precious and she would never should take for granted our time on this earth. Amazing person. Inspiration to millions. R.I.P. Ricky. Thank you, Jane. I appreciate that.
I think one of the reasons he was as popular as he was is he was an elite athlete in one of the most brutal sports you can be in. Exactly, I think for me,
there's no hiding.
Boxing, cycling, no hiding. It's horrible.
It really is. You and I, admittedly, not the greatest boxing experts,
no,
but we can call on the people who are, because we are talkSPORT, and talkSPORT boxing presenter Ade Oladipo joins us now. Good afternoon, Ade.
Afternoon, gents. Afternoon, everyone.
Very sad news, Ade. I'm assuming you met Ricky many times, and tell us what he means to the world of boxing.
Yeah, I've met him loads of times at events, and it's horrific news. It really is. It's been a weekend where boxing has almost just sort of put itself front and center again because of the fights in Vegas and Belfast, and then it's been brought home. Something like this has just kind of brought it all home, just how important life is and how precious life is. And Ricky Hatton meant everything to everyone in the world of boxing, just because it's such a working class sport, but sometimes when boxers do hit the high notes and become world champions and make millions, they kind of separate themselves from the working class, and Ricky never did that. He was almost, to kind of compare it, it would almost be like comparing him to a footballer in the 70s and 80s where you can just go down to the pub and see your favourite footballer.
Yeah, sure.
That was what Ricky Hatton was like. And that doesn't exist in sport anymore, does it? For the elite anyway, there's almost this separation where fans can't relate to sports stars because they're almost seen as just being over there and you're over here. Ricky Hatton was never over there. He was always over here with you. And he always gave time. I would be in places where Ricky Hatton would just stop for every single photo. And you're trying to usher it on, like, Ricky, we need to go on. Like, they're waiting, and he would kind of give you the finger like, I'm coming. And he'll take a photo and take a photo and take a photo. And look, he's had his bouts with depression. Let's not shy away from it, and mental health. But I always thought that he had got through it, because I always thought, okay, as long as Ricky can focus on something. And, you know, he was talking about a little comeback fight, December. Obviously not a real boxing match, but, you know, a charity one. And I thought, okay, that's fantastic, because that means Ricky's focusing on something, is going to get in shape, and his mind's going to be there. And that's why this news hits hard. I was with Darren Barker in Belfast just yesterday, and Darren Barker sat down with Ricky Hatton midweek. And always just a point of conversation how's Ruben? Yeah, he's fine. Great spirits.
Yeah.
And then you get this news sort of early Sunday morning, and it shows you just never know. Never know. And you've got to check in on people, and people have got to phone each other and make the phone calls.
I was just saying, we don't know yet the circumstances of how he has died.
You are correct. And look, and I hope it isn't that. But again, because there is a past there, I'm maybe just jumping the queue a bit here. But look, it's sad news. And Ricky Hatton, as your caller just said there, sort of ushered a generation of boxing fans, actually not just boxing fans, sports fans, to follow him. I mean, people would follow him up and down the country. I mean, he took thousands to America. That was unheard of.
20,000 people to Vegas is amazing, isn't it?
20,000 to Vegas to fight Floyd Mayweather. He had that incredible fight at the MEN Arena against Costa Zoo when he became world champion. And then the Ricky Hatton boom just started. Yeah. But again, he never left his roots, always a man of the people. And I think that's why the calls and texts are going to be difficult, because he touched many people. People loved Ricky Hatton, and he loved the people as well.
Ade, do you think the fact that he was sort of flawed made him more popular with his fans? He loved the few pints, he loved the post-fight fry-up, but he still managed, to get himself in shape for these fights.
Yeah, because you could relate to it. I mean, you could relate to it, and he was open about everything as well. And he used to kind of almost take the mick out of himself. He used to come to the ring sometimes in these oversized, inflatable sort of dress-ups. And then he used to strip it off and show the abs and almost to show, look, I was like that and now I'm like this. But I think that's why you could relate to him, because you could meet him in the pub and he'd have a conversation with you. Yes, you'd have a fry-up as well. So it felt like, okay, he is me. Where some of these athletes you can't really relate to at all because they're nothing like us. But it felt like Ricky was part of you.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I think this is really hurting people today. And again, I think you mentioned his age, Charlie, only 46.
Yeah.
Only 46. So so much of his life in front of him. He was coaching and training people as well. So yeah, it's very, very sad news, not just from a boxing standpoint, just from a human standpoint as well, because, you can remove Ricky the boxer because that career was done. Ricky the human was fantastic. Always laughing, always joking, always had time for people. And I think that's why it's hurting.
Ade, we really appreciate you joining us.
Thanks, Ade.
This morning. I know a friend, a colleague, and a hero of yours. So sad news, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you, guys. Cheers.
Ade Oladipo there. That's us, Barry. We're done. A sad show to have to do. May Ricky Hatton rest in peace.